Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael Mola. I am in beautiful downtown Richmond, Virginia. I have been with Intervision coming up on almost 25 years in a couple of months. It'll be my 25th anniversary here. And my partners, Kirk and Neil, we're going to talk to you about sustainable and smart contact centers for the hybrid workforce. And Kirk, you want to go next and introduce yourselves?
So I'm Kirk Jubeck. I lead product for our contact center and unified communication product offerings. I've been in contact center, enterprise contact centers for over 20 years now. Neil?
Hi, I'm Neil Leyland. I'm the Vice President of Professional Services for Workforce Modernization inside of Intervision. I've been with Intervision probably 15 months.
Thanks, guys. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So, what is this seminar about, right? Some of y'all know me. I probably talked to anybody who's had a collaboration experience here at Intervision or SciComm Technologies over the years. And, we talk about these things once in a while because they change, they evolve. Right now, the number one thing that I talk to about with customers when we talk about collaboration and we talk about contact centers is hybrid workforces and return to office, right? Some companies are downsizing and trying to manage space that way. Other folks are just like us here at Intervision. We have offices around the country, but a lot of us still work from home. And then, the hottest thing on the market right now are cloud contact centers and the generative AI functionality and features that they can bring to all of us. So, a lot of those conversations happen and they sound really big and they sound complex. And yes, they are. And, we're here to help you figure all that out. But there's a lot of ROI in all of these spaces. Green and eco-friendly and sustainable options are out there. There are grants and opportunities in those spaces. They come up in conversation as well. And that's what we're here to do, is talk to you about solutions that can help you find all those opportunities. So everybody's talking about return to office. It is literally the number one conversation I have in the collaboration space is return to office, how we're going to manage it. How do we make that experience as good as it was? We spent the last 4 years helping you and everybody, in this world figure out how to work from home effectively. And now we pivoted to hybrid work. How are we going to make all the features and functionality that we did with giving everybody a laptop, making sure everybody had, Teams and WebEx and Zoom and all those features. Everybody got cameras and headsets and things like that. Now that you as employers are doing some back to the office work, a lot of the employees simply don't feel the office is ready to work the way they are, right? They're used to having, the different features and functionality that we helped you provide. And the physical spaces aren't there yet, right? Their physical spaces are still individual offices, a few conference rooms here and there. It's not collaborative. And those are the features and functionality that our employees are going to expect. So the big bets that are coming for this is making sure all of your employees, all of your collaboration tools allow for hybrid work, right? The experience that I have here working from my home office, I should be able to transfer that experience into the office here when I go into HQ. That requires that we have modernized work settings, modernized office and seating arrangements. Again, we can do all of that by saving you power, saving you money, and still being sustainable and eco-friendly and not just buying things because they're net new and interesting. And the most important part is giving everybody a voice, giving everybody, especially the employees, the ability to feel like they're still part of a team, even if they're at home, and still part of a team if they go into the office, right? You don't want to feel separated. You don't want to feel like you're not a part of the office culture and things like that. So those are the big bets that are happening right now. How are we going to manage that? Who are the partners that you're going to choose to be able to do that? What collaboration tools are going to be there for you? And we can help. So I always talk about collaboration as a foundation, right? You know, people talk about, hey, you got to have the office space, you got to have the building, you got to build it out. In a traditional office, what do? You mapped it out, you put in a bunch of offices and doors, maybe a cube farm here and there. Well, and today you start with the security of the space, the security of the employees, the security of your data and everything that entails. So the three foundations for any kind of office change or move are security, collaboration, and the network. I've got it set as Wi-Fi 6, obviously, because that's the newest and latest and greatest networks, and everybody works on Wi-Fi now. Right? You put your Ethernet drops in every room, you make them available, but people fully expect to have a great Wi-Fi experience when they come in there. So as a foundation of that, you can start it as small as just refreshing an office. So you can start all of the collaboration pieces as a simple meeting room and redesigning that to work in a hybrid workforce. Or like InterVision did here in our Richmond office, we're right about in the middle there in the refresh. Right? We cut our space down a little bit, change the way that the people that do come into the office work. I think there's only actually 2 or 3 physical offices. The rest are huddle rooms, boardroom, AV rooms, and then some open office spaces. Now, if you go all the way over to refreshing the spaces completely or a new build, a new facility, a new office, we can do a lot of the things that you see in here. The bottom 3, obviously, that's the foundation of your network and your business, but we can help you with the AV redesigns. We can help you with the hot desking. We can help you with digital signage, access and entry, all of those kinds of pieces in that space. So as you're talking about it, as you're returning to the office, just remind yourself, these are the 3 things at the bottom of this graph that you're going to talk about no matter where you are in that journey. So this is a great slide. I love showing this. And if anybody has any questions afterwards or call me later, Cisco did this at their New York Penn 1 office. And in order to show ROI, like you're going to spend all that money on new equipment, new hardware, new ways for your employees to work, maybe some new collaboration licensing as well. But when they did that, they took out all of the power options that they had in there, and everything in that building now runs off of PoE, except for the emergency lights and the espresso machine. That's literally it. Everything else is running off of Cisco stacked switches. And if you look at the power savings of just doing that pre-fit COVID lockdown, when there weren't even people in the office, things were just humming along. And then post retrofit, it's even less than when there weren't people in there, in the physical facility. So the ROI is there if we make sure that we plan it out properly, get you the proper equipment, and redesign the spaces in order to make all these hybrid workforce options come to life. So what do you do when people don't have an office, right? Here is the newest device from Cisco. The 9800 series phone is purpose-built for this kind of environment. It's purpose-built for hybrid workforces. It's purpose-built for open office settings. It is purpose-built for me to come in to the office, or even I can schedule it from home, but I can walk into the building, go over to the space that I want to work in. Do I want to work in an individual desk that day? Do I want to sit in a huddle room with Kirk and Neil? I can choose that space, and by simply using the WebEx app on my phone, walk over to a device, hit that QR code that we're all used to hitting nowadays, right? The device will reboot, come up, and it'll come up as Michael Mola. So it is no different for me in the office than it is being at home as well. These devices, like I said, purpose built for the modern workforce, and they will work regardless of your on-prem or cloud calling. They're the Cisco 9800 series phones. The other reason we really enjoy these phones, and anybody who's worked with me has known, is I probably was the one who sold you those phones 20 years ago. They're rock solid. I fully admit that. But they're dumb. Right now, they just register, they make a call, take a call, voicemail. And part of the reason we want to switch them out is these are smarter, sustainable, eco-friendly devices. And as an example, I've got an education customer out here in Virginia. We're talking to them about the grants that they're getting. And the grants that they're getting are specifically around security and around sustainability. So I don't have a solar powered device. I don't have a wind powered device, but I do have a device that is 74% recyclable, Energy Star certified, and can show you all the metrics of power consumption and carbon emissions and everything else in the control hub. And they were able to apply for those grants. Hopefully find out here soon, where we stand there. But this is also a device that can help you meet some of those goals that you see coming out as well. So why a new device? It sounds simple, right? Hey, we've all got cell phones, we've got headsets nowadays. We're all talking on our at home and hearing the background noise. Well, these new devices, like I said, because they're purpose built for hybrid workforces, it's not only that the phone has AI powered background removal. In other words, it will remove the background that you hear in my space, but it also has distraction removal from the remote caller. So if Kirk is calling me from his cell phone, or Neil is in his car and I'm getting some wind noise in a traditional environment, this device will remove it from the far end as well as remove it from the close end where I'm sitting and speaking to you. The other part of it is that if you lose bandwidth, not everybody is lucky as we are living in the city like this and having high bandwidth and always being accessible with 5G and things like that. But these devices also have the ability to take low bandwidth calls and meetings and stitch them together using AI to make it sound like an HD audio call. It's a very impressive device. Would love to be able to demo it for you. But that's what hybrid workforces need. They want the ability to be able to work as comfortably, as fast, as efficiently as they have been, and that we've helped you do in the last 3 or 4 years, as they do when they return to the office. So these are strategies that are actually all part of one big strategy, right? The WebEx platform from Cisco is literally trying to reimagine how the workers work, like how I work, reimagine how the office is going to look and feel when I go into the office, but then also, and probably most importantly, what is that customer experience going to be? We've been talking about customer experience and contact centers for a long time, but cloud contact centers actually fit into that strategy as well. The WebEx suite includes all these features and functionality, and we've got several customers that have already done it. So the customer experience with contact center and CPaaS is something that's really important to us, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So Kirk, you want to talk about the generative AI technologies as they relate to the cloud?
Yeah, and I'm going to focus a bit on the contact center side of this too, because there's a lot of generative AI capabilities that are being unveiled now that are going to really revolutionize not only the customer experience but also the back end operations, and which leads to efficiencies and cost reductions. Like Michael said, these are the same kind of problems we've been addressing for many decades now, but new technologies come along that allow us to solve these problems in new and innovative ways. So if we look at some of the generative AI capabilities that WebEx has built in, particularly in the contact center, really allows you to deliver quick and seamless experiences to customers. We're all experts in our own customer journeys we have with businesses every day. So we understand, what a good customer journey or a bad customer journey feels like. Maybe not all the details of it we understand from our perspective, which is the most important part of that, from the customer's perspective, how that's being delivered. So, revolutionizing communications by transforming how businesses interact with their customers and manage their internal operations. A lot of these Gen AI solutions, create automation and managing that customer experience and providing innovation to improve that customer experience. Things like built-in conversational summaries, so for two purposes. The agent can quickly see the summary of the conversation the customer had prior, but also during wrap up of that call, summarization can be automatically generated, saving valuable human agent time handling customers. Just by automating the repetitive tasks and providing the agent real-time support along the way really helps drive the agent empowerment and reduces that agent burnout that can be detrimental to our customer experience and also costly if we're having to go through a lot of turnover at agents and retraining them. Again, the generative AI solutions can also help with that training, because if during the conversations the AI engine is producing recommended responses or reference materials for that agent, can really reduce their efforts and empower that agent to provide a seamless customer experience. All right, back to you, Mike.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. So another part of that conversation always seems to be is, hey, I've got a plan for this. I've got a budget for this. Like, I don't know where to start. Right? This is so much stuff. You want me to rebuild the office? I've got to buy new licensing for my employees. I've got to retrain them. I've got to figure out, where they're going to sit. How is that experience going to work? And if you're already in the Cisco cloud, you can start today. With the basic customer experience there, the voice queues and the agent experience, the multi-call windows, that's already there. Right? So we can take your traditional, hunt groups and things like that, where it just blasts all the phones, regardless if somebody's sitting there or not. And we can make it smarter. And you can start actually with what you have. If you decide, what, that sounds great, but I actually have a supervisor or a manager that needs some analytics and needs some, more disciplined approach to it, you can start with the Essentials package. The Essentials package will add some omni-channel options. We'll talk about what SMS, MMS, WhatsApp, those are kind of the omni-channel ways to communicate with people, but also give you some analytics and the supervisor experience. So I, as a supervisor, can see who's on the phone, how many calls are in queue, and those types of features. And then you also can go full cloud, full experience with the WebEx Contact Center with standard or premium options there. And that is the best-in-class, world-class customer experience cloud contact center available in the market today. It's fully omni-channel. It has workforce modernization and optimization options. And if you look at the slide here, you'll see where it says virtual agents. Well, you've heard me talk about them before. We used to call them bots, right? The voice bot, the chat bot, the web bot, that sort of thing. All of those as virtual agents can help you reduce the pressure on your agents, reduce the number of calls that they get, and then give a little customer journey to the employee as they start back up. So I know, Kurt, you had read this and wanted to comment on this, but part of the reason this targeted approach is so important, and working with us and working with me to kind of understand why the omni-channel contact center is important and how to target it. All you folks that know me, I recently got a puppy and woke up one morning, puppy was sick, and reached out to my vet. Well, the vet's office was closed at 7:45 in the morning. I got the message, couldn't leave a voicemail, but it told me to call the emergency vet. I was disappointed, wasn't sure what I was going to do, but as soon as I hung up, my phone buzzed and I got a text message saying, "Hey, Michael, we see you called after hours. Are you just trying to schedule an appointment? Do you want the vet to come to your house or do you need an emergency?" I clicked the link. It went straight to the website, had my name, put in my pup's name, said, "Hey, just send the vet out to my house between 8 and 10. They showed up in the van and off I went. By targeting me that way, knowing that's the way I want to communicate with them, they didn't lose my business to the emergency center. They didn't, I wasn't disappointed in the service they were providing. And there was no human interaction. So they didn't have to have somebody sitting there answering the phones first thing in the morning. So Kurt?
Yeah, I mean, we'd all love to have those seamless, effortless experiences, but companies and customers that we've experienced, have struggled in the past. The contact centers have been trying to implement omni-channel for quite a long time now, and a lot of times what happens is you end up with fragmented customer experiences because you're using different platforms for different channels and custom integrations to get them to all work together. So you end up with these fragmented, inconsistent experiences across channels. And like you mentioned, Michael, with the vet, I mean, you hit the link, it took you to that channel, it knew who you were already, right? Because so it tracked who you were throughout that. And that's the personalization that customers are looking for. Also, a lot of times companies will try to implement omni-channel across all their customer journeys and all their facets. And what happens there is you end up with highly complex and costly solutions that may not fit the need. So and then utilizing outdated technologies. If you're still on legacy systems, sometimes the integrations can be difficult to create that seamless environment. So it goes back to the cloud solutions to help bring all those things together into a single platform with the customer at the center of everything. So so in terms of solutions, like Michael said, taking a target approach, looking at 2 to 3 really important high value customer journeys, and determine, like, from a very customer centric point of view, what does that journey look like and how can the channels and the preferences that the customers have, how those all work together to provide that seamless experience. So really focusing in on those limited number of customer journeys and picking the channels that make sense. Don't try to implement every channel that you think customer may want. You want to really focus on the ones that you think are going to be high value. So that takes time, and InterVision can definitely come in and help with analyzing what those customer journeys look like and where you can improve the experience and reduce the effort the customers have to go through. All right, back to you, Mike.
So there's another study, right? And this deck, if you need the links to it, if you want to read them yourselves, you're more than welcome to. I wanted to make sure everybody understood, hey, this is not just me talking. This is, the industry is moving in this direction. This is a great study from Forrester because they created a company. And what they did was they took these 4 companies that are already using the product. And just like InterVision, we've got people with 700 contact center agents in the WebEx contact center. And we've got people with 30 contact center agents, 30 or less, actually, in the WebEx contact center in the cloud. So they took these different industries with different size needs, 24/7 versus 8/5, and said, what is the economic impact of moving to the cloud? And it's pretty straightforward, right? Obviously, there's savings from reduced IT support costs. You don't have to hire anybody or train them like you would for on-premise systems. You still need knowledge, you still need administrators and supervisors, but those people generally already exist. The retraining is very straightforward. And again, with partners like Cisco and InterVision, we can help you out there. The cost of downtime. There's no more reboots in the middle of the night. There's no more outages over the weekends, right? So we do upgrades and patching and things like that. So, and the most important one to me was the deflected calls. How many calls did not have to reach an agent, just like my description when I was calling in for Scout. I didn't have to speak to anybody. So there's costs there that can be easily found when you're building these kinds of environments. These are some great quotes. I really love these. I know we're want to respect your time and stuff, but here's some great quotes from the finance industry, right? Leveraging our virtual bankers to avoid repeat conversations, right? That's a really important thing. If I talk to a chatbot or I'm typing with a chatbot, I want that information to be available when I do speak to a live person. AI assistants, right? So the message records. Our project managers, if you're doing any projects with Intervision right now, our project managers are using those reports to give us our meeting summaries. So that's available for us, even if we're not in the calls, right? Those are the kinds of summaries and AI assistants and the virtual agents that we can help you with. So a couple of quick questions. Anybody have anything that you'd like to see? Okay, Amanda says, most of our agents wear headsets. Let me see. Sorry about that. Can we get the same cancellation for the headset? Yes. So here's an interesting thing, and I wish I'd had it on possibly, is yes, headsets are expensive, right? Nobody's buying $20 headsets anymore. You need the noise cancellation, you need the Bluetooth, you need them to be able to bounce back and forth. And you can buy them, they will register to Control Hub, you can serialize them, they have the AI noise cancellation, you know where they're located, you know which person they're assigned to, you know which device they're connected to. So absolutely, even if you don't want to buy handsets anymore, and some people don't, the headsets will have the same AI technologies built into them. Okay. All right. Amanda, if there's no any other questions, we'll just talk about the next seminars. Is that good? Okay. No problem. All right. So November 5th, I believe that's you as well. Kirk?
Yeah, so November 5th, I'll be talking about AI in the government contact centers specifically. You can go out to our
So
website.
yeah, these are upcoming webinars. Yeah. So it looks like we're having them every week. So whether you're government, you're Juniper, you're looking at going from on-prem to cloud programs, virtual sessions like this once a week, short and sweet, 30 minutes of your time. So unless you got any questions, I just want to say thank you for joining. And if you want links to any of the information that I gave you, or you want to set up a call and talk about some of the technologies and products, please reach out to your account manager.